Welcome. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly whether final expense insurance fits your needs and how to proceed if it does. Let's get started. 1. What is final expense insurance? Definition and purpose. Final expense insurance is essentially a small face amount permanent life insurance policy, usually whole life, intended to cover end-of-life costs, funeral, cremation, burial plot, headstone, hospice bills, unpaid medical or legal fees instead of burdening loved ones. Death benefit size. These policies typically offer death benefits ranging from $2,000 up to $50. Zero enough to cover average funeral fees, but significantly less than large-term or whole-life policies. Alternative names. You may hear terms like burial insurance, cremation insurance, or funeral insurance used interchangeably. How it works. You pay fixed premiums, often monthly, quarterly, or annually. The policy remains in force for life, and upon your death, the insurer pays a lump sum to your designated beneficiary. That payout is tax-free and can be used for any purpose by the beneficiary. Permanent versus term. Unlike term life policies that expire after a fixed period, final expense plans are typically permanent whole life. Coverage lasts as long as you keep paying premiums. Final expense insurance, often referred to as burial or funeral insurance, is a specialized form of permanent life insurance designed to ease the financial burden on your loved ones when you pass away. These policies typically provide a modest death benefit, usually between $2,000 and $50,000, which is intended to cover costs such as funerals, cremations, burial plots, headstones, as well as any outstanding medical or legal bills. Unlike larger term or whole life policies, the death benefit is sized specifically to match the average end-of-life expenses, making it a practical option for many. You maintain the policy by paying fixed premiums monthly, quarterly, or annually, and as long as you do, your coverage remains in force for life. When you die, your beneficiary receives a tax-free lump sum that can be used for any purpose, giving your family flexibility during a difficult time. Final expense coverage stands health status, though these may have waiting periods before full benefits activate. This makes final expense insurance particularly appealing to health status, though these may have waiting periods before full benefits activate. This makes final expense insurance particularly appealing to seniors and individuals with pre-existing conditions who might otherwise be ineligible for traditional coverage. The cost of a funeral can be significant. Reports from Transamerica and similar sources estimate the median expense falls between $6,000 and $8,300 or more, depending on your choices for services, casket, and burial. Final expense policies help spare your loved ones from these financial burdens, allowing them to focus on what matters most. Premiums for these policies are generally lower than those for larger whole life or term policies. For instance, a healthy 60-year-old woman might pay between $40 and $60 a month for $10,000 of coverage. Most applicants find the process simple and quick, with approvals often issued within a day and minimal paperwork involved. Many final expense policies also build cash value over time, allowing you to borrow against the policy or, if needed, surrender it for a cash payout, though this will reduce the death benefit. Unlike term life insurance, which covers you for a set period, final expense insurance offers permanent protection for as long as you keep up with premiums. This lifelong coverage ensures peace of mind and lasting security for you and those you care about. Underwriting types. Most final expense policies are either simplified, issue few health questions, no exam, or guaranteed issue no health questions, available regardless of health. Guaranteed issue plans may include waiting periods before full benefits apply. 2. Why people buy at funeral costs are expensive. According to Transamerica and other sources, the median cost of a funeral ranges from $6,000 to $8,300 plus, depending on burial type, casket, headstone, and services. Peace of mind for loved ones. Final expense insurance lets loved ones focus on grief, not bills. It prevents them from having to pay thousands out of pocket or dip into savings. Accessible to seniors and those with health issues, because underwriting is simplified or guaranteed. Applicants with pre-existing conditions or seniors may qualify even if they wouldn't under traditional policies. Lower cost than big life policies. Premiums are lower than whole life or large term policies, commonly $40 to $60. month for $10,000 of coverage for a healthy 60-year-old woman. Straightforward approval. Most applicants are approved quickly, sometimes within a day of application, with minimal paperwork and no exam. Cash value growth. Some policies build cash value over time. You may borrow against it or surrender it for cash, though that reduces the death benefit. 3. Detailed features and mechanics. Underwriting and health requirements. Simplified issue. You answer health questions by phone or on an application. No medical exam. Guaranteed issue. No health questions. Generally available to age-limited applicants, but often has graded death benefit. If death within first 2 to 3 years from natural causes, only premiums plus interest are returned. Common health questions include conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, AIDS, dialysis, recent cancer, oxygen dependency, and mobility issues. B. Cost breakdown and premiums. Mode of payment: monthly, quarterly, annually, AFT, sometimes credit card or bank withdrawal. Rates vary by age, gender, health, and death benefit amount. Example: male versus female at various ages paying for $10,000 or $25,000 benefits. See chart from insure.com for example. At age 65, female $557 year for $10,000, male $722. For $25,000, female $1,326, male $1,734. Younger applicants and better health equals lower rates. Some plans advertise $9.99 month, but often upsell you get what you pay for. C. Death benefit payment. After death occurs, beneficiary submits a claim with a death certificate. Payout is often made within 1 to 2 weeks, bypassing probate, directly to beneficiary. It's tax-free. Beneficiaries can spend the proceeds on anything: funeral, bills, remaining debts, living expenses, even taxes or tuition. D. Cash value and living benefits. Because it's a form of whole life policy, cash value accrues. You may borrow against it, withdraw it, or in some cases let policy mature for its cash surrender value if you outlive the policy term, often age 95 to 121. However, borrowing or surrender can reduce or eliminate the death benefit. E. Waiting periods and limitations. Guarantee issue often carries a 2 to 3 year waiting period. If death results from natural causes within that period, only premiums paid plus interest are refunded, no full benefit. No coverage for suicide within first 2 years typically, like most life policies. Some companies may apply exclusions for hazardous or illegal activities. 4. Pros and cons summary. Pros: easy to qualify, no medical exam or few questions. Lower premiums and traditional life insurance for similar death benefit ranges. Fixed premiums for life, no increase as you age. Beneficiaries get money fast within weeks without probate. Flexible use of benefits not restricted to funeral costs. Peace of mind for families with limited savings or fixed income. Cons: low coverage amounts, max $50,000 versus term, whole life policies that go much higher. Higher cost per $1,000, expensive if you compare unit cost versus larger policies. Waiting periods, especially with guaranteed issue policies, limit benefit early on. Policy lapse risk: missed payments mean no benefit and forfeited premium. Cash value returns not meant as an investment, yields are modest. 5. Comparison with other life insurance options. Feature final expense insurance: traditional whole life, term life. Death benefit typically $2,000, $50,000 up to hundreds of thousands or millions. Underwriting: simplify or guaranteed. Usually no exam, often requires medical exam. Full underwriting. Cost premiums from $40 to $60 per month, higher, depends on coverage and health. Waiting period: some plans guaranteed issue have 2 to 3 years, none after issue typically. Cash value accrues slowly. Loan available: whole life builds more cash value, term doesn't. Purpose: cover end of life expenses, replace income, pay debts, long-term goals. Term life: affordable if young and healthy, but may expire after 10 to 30 years. Not permanent. Whole life: higher coverage and cash value but costlier, can serve as asset or legacy. Final expense: fills a narrow, a vital niche. Small, guaranteed payout if you die later in life. Minimal underwriting required. 5. Comparison with other life insurance options. Feature final expense insurance. Traditional whole life, term life death benefit typically $2,000 50K up to hundreds of thousands or millions. Underwriting, simplify or guaranteed, usually no exam, often requires medical exam. Full underwriting costs premiums from $40 to $60 per month. Higher depends on coverage and health. Waiting period, some plans guarantee issue have to 3 years. None after issue. Typically cash value accrues slowly. Loan available. Whole life builds more cash value. Term doesn't. Purpose cover end of life expenses, replace income, pay debts. Long-term goals. Term life, affordable if young and healthy but may expire after 10 to 30 years. Not permanent. Whole life, higher coverage and cash value but costlier, can serve as asset or legacy. Final expense fills a narrow, a vital niche. Small, guaranteed payout if you die later in life. Minimal underwriting required. 6. Who should consider final expense insurance? Seniors or retirees near or beyond 60 who may no longer qualify easily for other policies. People with limited savings who want to avoid leaving funeral costs to family. Those with pre-existing conditions or health issues disqualifying them for traditional insurance. Individuals who value simplicity of approval, quick coverage, and peace of mind when it may not be ideal. If you already have sufficient savings or a larger life insurance policy. If you need a higher death benefit, for example mortgage, dependents, estate planning. If premiums seem high relative to need, compare quotes carefully. 7. How to choose a policy and avoid scams. Use independent, licensed agents or brokers. Prefer agents to represent multiple insurers. They can compare providers and rates unbiasedly. Confirm insurer ratings A or better from AM Best, etc. B. Understand policy types, guaranteed issue versus simplified issue. Understand waiting periods or graded benefits. Check whether costs lock in or can provide raised prices. C. Review premiums and face amount. Get quotes for various death benefits, for example $5,000, $10,000. Confirm whether premium is fixed for life or subject to change. D. Know the underwriting process. Ask if any health questions are asked. Request to see the questions ahead of time. Understand if there's a graded or waiting period before full benefit begins. E. Read the fine print. Look for exclusions, for example suicide clauses, terminal illness riders. Confirm how and when cash value becomes available, and policy surrender options. F. Beware cold call offers and scam tactics. Many unsolicited final expense calls are scams or aggressive upsell tactics. Never share personal or financial information with unknown callers. Legitimate companies don't make unsolicited cold calls. If someone pressures you with state-approved program language or instant decisions, hang up and research independently. G. Choose the right beneficiary and communicate plan. Make sure beneficiary knows about the policy, company name, face amount, and how to submit a claim. Some insurers provide final wishes toolkits to document funeral preferences and policy details. 8. Closing and call to action. Final expense insurance offers affordable, guaranteed peace of mind for families even when health or finances limit other options. By covering funeral and final costs, it ensures your loved ones aren't facing surprising bills during a difficult time. If you think final expense insurance might fit your situation, get multiple quotes. Use independent licensed agents. Confirm the insurer's rating and waiting periods. Choose a beneficiary you trust and communicate the details. And above all, don't fall for unsolicited telemarketing. Legitimate planners and agents explain everything transparently and don't pressure you. Thank you for watching, and if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. Leave your questions or comments below and I'll be glad to help. Here's to planning smart and leaving a legacy of care, not burden.